Welcome to September's Leetcode challenge. Today's problem is word pattern. Given a pattern and a string, find if the string follows the same pattern. If we're given a pattern like ABBA and a string like dog, cat, cat, dog, this is going to be true because every letter here represents the same thing, or the pattern dog represents A, cat represents B, and follows that same pattern, ABBA. If we have dog, cat, cat, fish, though, that does not follow the same pattern because A can't represent both dog and fish. And to give you a couple more examples here, we can assume that the pattern only contains lowercase letters and the string contains lowercase letters that will be separated by a single space. So we can use the split function in Python to create a list from this string. Now I did some testing to make sure that each one of these letters can't be reused like in combination with like AB being representing a word. So that's not the case. Every letter is going to represent one word. So at most there's going to be 24 different words, or there should be at most 24 different words. So the initial approach might be to think about using a hash map, and we'll have this dictionary. This is going to represent the word, and the value will be the key that it represents by. So we could have like the letter as the key. Wait, that's not right. So the word's going to be the key, and the letter's going to be the value. So let's just think about it that way, and let's do a couple preparations for our algorithm. And what we can do is first split our string into a list of words, and I'm going to call that words. I'll also do some quick edge cases here. I'll say, hey, if the length of words does not equal the length of patterns or pattern, then return false immediately, because these should be the same. The number of words should be the same length as the number of characters in the string pattern. Right? Makes sense? So now that we have that in the way, we could have some loop. And what I'm going to do is basically pass both our words and our characters and pattern together. And what I'm going to check for is every word that comes in, if we haven't seen it, add it to the dictionary and make the dictionary represented by the letter that's in the same place. Now, if we have seen this word before, then we'll check in our dictionary to make sure that it's still represented by the same character. And if it's not, then we can immediately return false. So what I'll do here is first initialize I equals 0 and say while I is less than, let's say, the length of words. What we're going to do, we're going to say, well, if words I not in our hash map, and let's add it. We'll say D, the key is going to be the word, and the value is going to be whatever's in pattern character there. Now otherwise, we will say, well, we need to check something else here. We need to say, make sure if it is in the hash map, then just that the words are correct. So this D, words I, if it doesn't equal pattern I, then we can return false. Otherwise, we just increase our iterator by 1. And it's only after we are able to finish this loop that we can return a true. Okay, so this seems to be enough, and I could say I have some custom case. Let me see if this works. And this seems to work, but there's a problem here. If I did like fish, this actually wouldn't work. This should be false, but I actually return a true. And the reason for that is because even though we haven't seen fish, or we've seen dog and we've seen cat, these should be represented by A, but now fish is a new word, right? And according to my check, I would just say, hey, we haven't seen this, so put it into our dictionary. But unfortunately, we can already see that we shouldn't be able to use A. So we need another hash map, and we need another hash map to keep track of all the different letters that we're going to be able to use. So what I'll do is have another hash map. I'll call it D2, and we can mess with the logic here, but what I did was just say, all right, if pattern I not in D2, well, we still do the same thing here, but we'll say, all right, pattern I. This could be whatever, just make that equal to true. I can make it equal to the word as well, but it's actually not necessary. So if I did this, this should end up, let's see here. Oh, and one more thing. Because of the way that these dictionaries work, I'm going to get a key value error if I don't have this ND. It's just the way that my if-else logic works. So one way to get around that is just to use the get function, and this just makes sure that if it doesn't exist, I won't error out. It'll just return a none. So that's just a little get around. So there, now that equals false. So I often use the get function just so that I don't throw an exception all the time. But that's it. So it looks like we got accepted. And it's not bad. Probably could do better, but it's fine. Okay, so I think I'll end it here. There are definitely different approaches, different logic. This isn't the best logic that I used, but I'm very tired today. So just want to say happy Labor Day. Thanks for watching my channel. And remember, do not trust me. I don't know anything.